Hey, what it do, sports world, and welcome to the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Y'all hear the song in the background. Y'all know what time it is a week, what time it is, as Alabama will face LSU. The number 14 ranked LSU Tigers will travel to Bryant-Denny Stadium to face Nick Saban and his number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide. This game right here would ultimately decide who will win the SEC West. Okay, hey man, it's so good to be back, y'all. Thank y'all again for tuning in to the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. This right here is the weekend where it's going to decide a lot of things in the SEC. Over there in the SEC East, we got Georgia versus Missouri. Here we have Alabama against LSU. These two teams right here has been on a collision course all season. These two teams right here has pretty much been on the same path. Even though LSU has lost 2 games, Alabama had lost 1. These two teams right here have struggled all season. LSU has struggled on the defensive side. Alabama has struggled on the offensive side. LSU's offense has pretty much put up video game numbers, while Alabama's defense has been pretty much shut down. This right has been one of the best defenses in the nation. Now, when these two teams step on the field, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm worried. I'm worried about my Crimson Tide this weekend. I got to be honest. I am really worried about them facing against this LSU team. But I got faith in Nick Saban. I got faith in Bryant-Denny Stadium that this team can get it done. Now, what I will say about these two teams is this. They both have really good quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe is coming into his own for Alabama. And Jaden Daniels has pretty much put up Heisman numbers this season. If LSU is maybe 7-1, Jaden Daniels right now will be the Heisman favorite. But because they lost 2 games, that is the reason why we don't talk about him as being a Heisman Trophy candidate. But listen, if LSU can pull this off in Alabama and Jaden Daniels have a really good game, don't be surprised if this kid jumps to number 1 in the Heisman Trophy candidate list right now. Jaden Daniels coming into the game, 2,500 yards, 25 touchdowns. Diggs has been the leading rusher for the LSU Tigers at 600 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors has been the man at the wide receiver. We know LSU, they always have a plethora of wide receivers. Malik Neighbors is that guy this season with 981 yards and 9 touchdowns. People have been sending me messages saying Malik Neighbors is a top 5 pick. No, he's not a top 5 pick, not even a top 10 pick. Maybe top 15, top 20. Yes, I would give that to you. But top 5, top 10, I can't see it because of all the players that they have in the top 5 and the top 10. On the Alabama side, Jalen Milroe, he's thrown for 1,600 yards this season, 13 touchdowns. McClellan has led the rushing with almost 600 yards rushing. And Burden has come into his own. Jermaine Burden has come into his own with over 500 yards. Most of those yards have come in the last 3 weeks. So he's been Alabama go-to receiver. Isaiah Bond, the last game, he pretty much torched the defense. Can he finally come into his own against a very bad LSU defense? LSU have one of the worst defenses in college football. So Alabama can export this defense. They could pretty much put up 40. They can put up 40 points. But can Alabama defense, which has been the strongest part of this season, can they slow down this LSU offense? It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But if they can just slow this offense down just a little bit, I think Alabama will win this game in a comfortable manner. If they could. But if they cannot stop this LSU offense, they're going to be in for a long day. They're going to be in for a very long day. But if they can just stop this offense to maybe 28 points, I think that Alabama offense can put up points against this LSU's defense, being how bad this LSU defense has been all season. Now, Alabama's last 5 opponents, they have won the games, but most of those games has been close. Like the Texas A&M game, they won by 6. Arkansas game, they won by 3. Now let's look over there on the LSU side. You know, LSU, yeah, they beat Army 62-0. They beat Auburn by 30. They beat Missouri at Missouri by 10, in which they scored almost 50 points. They they lost to Ole Miss, but they put up 49 points in that game. So, they beat Arkansas by 3 as well, but they put up 34 points. 34 points in that game. So, when you look at these two teams, you have one offense, a very explosive offense. On the other one, you have a very good offense. Other one, you have a very bad defense, and on Alabama side, they have a really respectful defense. I'm not gonna say it's one of the top 2 or 3 defense, but they have a very respectful defense. Can these cornerbacks hold up for Alabama? That's the number one thing. Can they hold up? Because LSU love to go deep. We know Caleb Downs is a true freshman. Can he hold up? It's a lot of things I think it's going to be, what can this team do? Can this team do this? Can this team do that? I'm going to give you all my prediction in this game. I think it's going to be close early. I think LSU, they're going to put up points. Alabama will put up points as well. It's going to come down to who make one good defensive stand. And I got to go with Alabama as making that one defensive stand. I think Alabama will. I think they have the better defense, and I think they can make the big. And LSU got a lot of injuries in this game. They got a lot of injuries. They got a lot of their players, a lot of their top players that's out of this game. A lot of these players are playing their first game, and it's the wrong place to be playing your first game. It's Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's going to also come down to the Alabama fans. Can they make it very uncomfortable for this LSU team? And I think they can. I think they will. If all of this happens, I expect for this game to be 38-34. I expect for Alabama to pull it off. Somehow, some way, they will pull this off and they will win the SEC West and go into the SEC championship game. Now, just because they win this game doesn't mean they're going to win the SEC. That doesn't mean they're in, because they still got to play Kentucky next week, and then they have Auburn, of course, the Iron Bowl. But I expect for I expect for Alabama to win this game here. I expect for them to win the game. Like I said, 38-34. Alabama finds a way to win this game against LSU. Hey, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, peace. And you all have a great weekend, man. And be safe out there, everybody. Hey, and like I said, this is the Alabama week. Y'all know what it is. Roll Tide and Sweet Home Alabama. Let's go, y'all.